Hello and welcome to the Bleeping Mechanic. Today we have a new project. Asked me to take a look at this John Deere D110 Mower. So I have already removed a few things. Air filter was crap, got a new one of those. Oil needs to be changed. Battery's newer, but I did put my meter on there and it was under 10 volts. We put it on the battery maintainer. Air filter, took that off. You can snake this around just like that. All right, and then so what I discovered in here was the coil has seen some better days. So something has been eating on that. So I'm replacing that as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that off. Now, one thing about this is that there is a gap here. There's a magnet, and as the magnet flies by these, it creates electricity that creates a spark. So it looks like we got a wire unplugged there. Pull the spark plug boot off. Well, that's right down to the center conductor. So out with the old, throw that out of the way. The coil does state this side up, cylinder side. The new one does have a metal guard to protect from the heat. So when you mount this, there is a measurement that you're supposed to take to space it off of here. What I normally do is just shove in like 2 Post-it notes, so I'm gonna go grab some paper real quick. Like I said, about 2 Post notes, so I'm gonna do about 2. I'm gonna put that right between the flywheel and there. Get the screws in. Now, what did happen during this whole process, one of the screws broke. So I had to go up to the hardware store and replace the screws. Of course, the screws that it comes with has nice big pan head screws that don't need a washer, where here, they don't sell that at the hardware store. It's pushing against the flywheel, paper's in between there. Snug one side. Sorry, blocking you there. Snug the other side. Again, I'm just putting gentle pressure against the flywheel. There you go. And then you should be able to turn this. See? Again, snug, tight. Snug, tight. And then now, turn that out of the way. So it's not rubbing, which I'll show you. Not hitting, but if you look, nice and close. Very small gap in there. All right, so that's on there. Clip is on. Spark plug boot on. This will go out of the way. All right, got that already tightened. All the wires are good. Let's see, I think we're ready to test this out. Spark plug is on. I threw a little dielectric inside there. I always throw dielectric grease inside there. Just kind of helps. So that's out of the way. There's 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slides around there. Again, new air filter, so we'll go ahead and throw that on there. And the air filter just kind of plops in there. The other one was just filthy. Wick oil filter, which will replace the John Deere one. So let me go ahead and get set up and we'll start attaching all these screws. So the screws are these guys. So the long ones go in the back, short ones go in the front. You'll see the difference. Get them started by hand because do not want them to cross thread. Now these back ones were a pain in the butt. I actually found out that using ratcheting wrench was the best method because they're just so tight in there without taking this fuel line system off. So let's see what we got. This one's giving me troubles to start. Like I said, don't want to strip nothing. Give it a little shaky shake. Well, I believe 3/8. Okay, a few threads in. A few threads in. I mean, I would have much rather had a ratchet. Would have made life a whole lot easier. Or I could have taken out the battery. Then I would have been able to get a ratchet in there. Battery tight on here, on the negative, on the frame, on the solenoid, and then on the starter. All those are nice and tight. So those are in there now. That heat, there's a heat shield here. That's in the right position. I'm going to go through, grease up all the grease fittings. All the Zerk fittings will get grease. I'm going to put in, he's got 2 new blades that I'm going to pop on for him, give the deck a little cleaning, and then the very last thing I'm going to do is actually do the oil change. Spark plug, took that out. It looks great. So everything's in place. So let's go ahead and take tools off. Like I said, I did have it on the charger overnight. Let's see if we get anywhere with it. One thing I did figure out when I was first moving this thing, before even trying to get it going, is that the parking brake, which does work, won't let it start without somebody sitting their butt on the seat. Not sure if that's how it's supposed to be, so got to push it a little farther. There's a pedal sensor there, so let's see what we got. Give it some choke. Seems to run pretty good. Gas smells a little funky. It might be old gas. Idle's fine. Sounds good. This is what you'll see without holding the pedal down. It does that even with the parking brake on. So I'm going to go ahead and shut it off. I'm going to close it up. I'm going to get it nice and warmed up. And I'm going to get it running around a little bit. And then I'm going to do an oil change. Honestly, it seemed to start fine. Like I said, the battery, he did say it's a newer battery, which it is a newer battery. But I think it might have just, he might just be leaving this thing on all the time. And then, when I say on, I mean not taking it out at the end of the year, or he's not putting a charger on it. So let's go ahead and test this thing out. All right, here we go. All right, let's check it out.